Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a special broadcast, a live stream. We're coming at you from two locations, very cold locations in Florida. I am Scott Watson. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Go Small, Live Large, all about van life, travel, tiny living. I'm in my trailer tonight, and we share the truth with you. No BS here. We have guests on tonight. They're coming at you from Tampa, Florida, where it's equally as cold. Let's bring them on, and then we'll tell you what we're going to talk about tonight. It's all about the Super Show, and this is in one room. Are you guys in a trailer? What is that?
Airbnb.
Yeah, Airbnb.
I was going to say, that's a Class A with big slide outs. So this is Theresa, Neal, and Britt. Neal's in the middle. Thank you, Neal, for being in the middle. Appreciate that. So tell us, let's just kind of show the folks, well, tell us a little bit about you, and I'll kind of flash the screen. Theresa, we'll let you go first.
Well, yeah, I'm Theresa. My channel is Beyond the Fern, and I've been traveling now going into 5 years. Well, I guess 4.5 really, because I started in late 2021. And I'm on my second van, a Noovo Light, 2024 and a half Noovo Light. Travel solo. Husband stays at home.
But you got a cat.
Yes, I have a cat, a hissy cat.
He is kind of hissy for a cat. Yeah. I'm a cat guy. She's like,
I know.
It's a guard cat. And then Neal and Britt, you two have a YouTube channel. We encourage folks to subscribe because you guys put out great content, travel and otherwise. So maybe just introduce yourselves.
Yes, we are Neal and Britt. We have been on the road since 2018, and we've been traveling in vans since 2021. And goodness, fortunately or unfortunately, I've been in like 6 of them now, but that's a whole different story. So join us on our YouTube to see all of our travels.
And you kind of have a home base in New Mexico, is that right?
Yes, in Albuquerque. Yeah. So we've been doing some house renovations. We are just doing all sorts of projects.
That is so cool. Well, thanks again for your time. I know it was, you all as YouTubers were there on Industry Day, where the public is not a welcome into the fair grounds for the Super Show. That's kind of industry and media only. So you guys have been around there since like Monday, right? So you're probably pretty pooped.
Yeah, just a little.
And the weather today was sunny, 80, no wind.
Yeah, it was. Florida weather. I was promised Florida weather.
I'm wearing a flannel. What is going on right now?
I know.
That is so funny. And you tell me you don't have the AC on.
No,
we have the heat on right now.
Yeah.
It's actually on 77, so we are cold.
We're cold.
That's so great. Well, again, thank you for joining us. Here's, folks, what we want to talk about tonight. So these are my spies on the ground at the Super Show, Theresa, Neal, and Brittany. And we're going to ask them about some of their key takeaways from the show, what they saw. And we're going to ask them for what their best of show is, and not to be shy about it. And we'll kind of ask them as we go through this different floor plans. What was the build quality like on the various vans? Because it varies wildly. And what innovation did they see this year? That's what I'm always interested in, is what is new and different other than an interior or exterior color change. And they'll talk a little bit about price and value from their perspective. I am not there obviously this year, and because my van is still out of commission. But so we just appreciate you bringing your eyes and ears to the table tonight. So maybe with let's just kind of remind the folks, this is the question format. If you can help us, 3 stars, asterisks, 3 question marks, helps your question be seen and answered more quickly. If you have a comment that you really want people to know about, this is the format to use, 3 asterisks, 3 exclamation points. And we'll say hi to folks as we go through this. We'll go for a half hour, 45 minutes or so. And this is my website, GoSmallLiveLarge.com. You can see what's coming up. You can participate in. So we got lots going on there. All right, with that, we'll start with Theresa. What are some of the key takeaways that you kind of saw in the Super Show as you were walking around? Key takeaways from your perspective. Like maybe what's new in the Class B models?
Well, I guess I kind of want to save that one maybe for Best in Show. My key takeaway would be that I think the RV industry as a whole needs to be a little more creative and not copy each other so much, and not equate to, wow, this model is brand new because we, changed a kind of faucet we're using in the sink or something like that. I'd like to see more and better quality. So I know it sounds a little negative, but
Neal Britt, what kind of caught your eye?
I mean, we have much of the same as Theresa when it comes
Yes.
to that. There's a Coachman was doing a pretty good job.
Yeah,
they
Coachman was
have
really
a product, I think, that where Theresa is going to get to. Yeah, that's a pretty good product.
Yeah.
I would say that's a little bit of innovation, being creative for sure, and the quality was there. Not to be biased, Noovo.
Yeah.
People flock there because of the quality, and they're the only ones that kind of are being a little innovative for the most part. I mean, there was a few attempts by others that we saw to be innovative, but it was kind of like they threw it together last minute with very like cheap plastics and stuff. It felt very cold, and it was clearly not people that traveled.
Yeah,
like,
that's like the big thing. You can tell the difference between the people that design the vans that they want to travel in and people that design vans because they just want to sell something. If that makes sense.
Yeah, right. I think that's why some brands like Noovo are really hitting out of the park, because they did this in school buses and built vans before they were travelers before builders. So I think that's one thing that is really a good takeaway. So if you think about kind of a reality check as a takeaway, features that look good on paper, maybe on the big sign that sits out front, but kind of fail in real life van life travel. Lithium, or you mentioned faucets, maybe it's a bunch of external tanks in cold weather. What's a reality check on some of those features that look good but probably aren't practical for travel?
I think we have a good one.
Yeah, you can go ahead and say it, because I know exactly what you're going to say.
Go ahead.
So the Grand Design has a new one that's got a lift bed, so it's very similar to the Plus. I think it was a super high roof.
Yep, super high roof.
But two things that they did, the one of the main things they did was the shower. So it has these doors, and it's kind of hard to explain it without seeing it, but it has these doors that kind of like come out this way. Then you bring the shower curtain out. So what happens is you're cutting the van in half. So if you have two people traveling and somebody wants to take a shower, you just cut the van in half. So the person that's not showering is limited to whatever side they end up on until that person finishes the shower.
And you can't use the kitchen either.
Yeah, you can't use the kitchen.
So yeah,
it probably looked like a good idea on paper, but functionally that would get old really fast.
Cut off the entire van
to
use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
the bed. Yeah. Yeah, it clearly is just some things that just great. It seems great of an idea, and it looked cool, and I was actually excited to see it, but it just practicality, when we looked at it, like, okay, this is not practical at all if you're a couple. Definitely not.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, and we kind of see these every year. Was it 2 years ago? We saw Fleetwood coming out with an adventure van that was me and Peter from Rover Vans walked around it, and I'm like, I can't believe you guys even have this here, because the ladder was sticking out like 18 inches from the side of the van. I mean, it would snag a parking meter. It looks good, like you say. So again, key takeaways. You talked about quality a little bit. From show to show to show, because I think you all have been there as much as I have over the years. Build quality in general, is the industry getting better at large, or just more expensive, or cheaper in price?
I think the prices are going back down right now, big time.
Are going down.
Big time. I mean, we saw like even Class A's for in the low 100s that we know a few years ago were 200K. So the prices are definitely going down, and the Class B market seems to be following that trend. Winnebago products, GLs, KLs seem to be down in price compared to what they were 2 years ago. So it's definitely going down in price. Quality, I think you just have a few companies that are sticking with quality, and the others have kind of gone on a different path.
Yeah, they just seem to follow that same playbook, I guess.
Yeah.
There was some new like destination trailer companies that were there and things like that they're stepping up the game big time. Big time, like technology innovation. But as far as the Class Bs, it seems like you have the usuals like Coachman, now Noovo, kind of keeping the quality, obviously, but the others aren't. It's
or the attempts were not great.
Yeah.
And I hate to sound biased because I'm wearing Noovo gear, but
Yeah.
but it's
It really is the
reality.
truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you both own a Noovo van, and you're kind of ambassadors of them. And I spent time in them, not as much as you, obviously, but I can tell you it's a vast difference, build out wise and innovation. Again, I think it comes from the travel experience. Leave it at that. Theresa, this is for you. Then we'll do Neal and Britt. As a solo female traveler with a hissy cat, what's your solo traveler perspective on some of the layouts you saw?
Well, definitely, and it's again going back to Coachman. The Coachman, they came out with it's the Pixel 1.8, and it's adorable. I mean, it's on the 18-foot wheelbase of the ProMaster, so it's shorter. It's definitely only for one person, so it would be good for a person maybe it may feel intimidated by like a bigger ProMaster or a Transit or a Sprinter, which is really big. And, again, going back to quality, there are still, even though the cabinets are different from like what's in the Beyond or the Galleria, they're still solid wood, dovetail. They're still using the same, you have an option for 660 amp hours lithium, which is awesome.
Lithionic.
Oh yeah. Lithionics too.
Mhm.
So they're not skimping there. Yeah. And something, Nick said was that they're switching to Truma G. So they're even getting away from, the dependence on you have to have propane, which, to me, that's really cool because I think there's this thing you have to have propane and you really don't. So that I thought that was pretty cool. That one's cool. I think pretty well executed.
For a solo traveler, that's a good one for you. Neal and Britt, so some of your discoveries, Neal in particular, kind of a technical guy, and I'm sure Brittany's more of a storage person, but what are some of the things you found on the show floor? Because you're managing not only Brittany, you're not only managing Neal, and he takes a lot of space, but you got 2 cats and cat gear. So, what did you find from a technology and storage perspective that you saw at the show?
Yeah, I would say technology, remote vans.
Oh yeah.
Some of those adventure van companies, of course, Storyteller in the mix always. They're right there and we didn't really mention them with quality and stuff, but they're there with quality but they're also there with the innovation because they're more overland van focused. They're pretty innovative, using really cool water filter systems, robust lithium systems, and they're meant to stay out in the wilderness for a long time and have insane suspensions and things like that. And you had companies, that kind of Class B were, companies, but like, making the B pluses, I guess, that are, kind of Class Bs. They're cool and they're being innovative and at least bring something different. So I would say that's the standout is kind of the adventure vans besides Coachman and Noovo. It's really the adventure van guys that are pushing the good quality and tech. The tech is impressive.
Like outside vans.
Yeah, outside vans. That's the other one there.
Yeah, that's the one I saw for the first time last year. And I don't know why it's 40 degrees outside and mosquitoes are biting me. Maybe they're all inside tonight. They snuck in. Excuse me. That's why I'm. Outside vans makes an incredible van, and those are now being carried by Sunshine State RVs, which is great. And I find, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of times those van brands you mentioned, Storyteller, Outside, some of the others, remote, they are expensive rigs, but they're really the ones doing the R&D and the implementation, and they're all travelers in their vans. And a lot of people try and copy them and don't put in the R&D. And that's why a lot of times I think, my opinion, that's all it is that why those vans are a little bit more expensive, but you buy really good quality stuff and it lasts a long time. And I like your point on we'll talk about floor plans in just a second, this merging of kind of the B plus small C's, because I think the Leisure Travel Vans came out with a new one that kind of is Echo-ish. So maybe we'll talk about that. Okay, so I'm going to put it on you all 3, which is the best of show? So if you had to pick one rig.
Hmm.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Which one is your?
I can tell you what we're hearing. I mean,
yeah.
what we're hearing, it's the Noovo Plus
Yep.
is the most popular at the show. The first day, Noovo sold more rigs than everybody else, I think, combined. So that goes to show. And I would say probably the Noovo next, and is the close second. But really, I think it's the Noovo Plus.
The
Really,
Noovo
I would say the Plus.
yeah, it's just
That
still the
is-
most innovative design with the coolest feature that kind of merges the bed like a Revel, like a Winnebago Revel, but
Has the
brings-
height for taller people.
But
Yeah.
everyone talks about it. That is always the
Yep.
van that everyone is talking about when we're at the booth.
They're always gravitating towards it.
Yep.
And maybe just explain quick for folks that don't know. So Noovo has 3 rigs. There, 2 are on the Ram ProMaster, 1's on the Sprinter. So there's the Noovo Light, Noovo Plus, and the Noovo
Next.
So maybe just quickly explain what the differences are for folks that may not know.
Well, Light is what we have, which is the front dinette.
high roof, standard high
the
roof.
standard high
And
roof.
the
Yeah.
fixed bed in the back.
Similar to the GL, except the bed's across the whole back.
Yeah, and it's fixed. Yeah.
Yep, and it's fixed. And then the next is the Sprinter base. That is brand new, kind of similar to the Light layout, except it's a north to south bed.
Yep.
And the Plus is where it gets crazy, and that's what's making the splash. Still, it's been going on almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
And it's that
So
elevator bed in the back, and
Oh yeah, then the big, huge dinette
That we
under the
fit
elevator
10
bed.
adults around before.
Yeah.
So that's how big the couch is around the back. And that also turns into another bed. So you could actually sleep 4 adults in there if you wanted to.
And I guess
And
it's queen size, right? So it's full queen or
it's a
RV?
full,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah,
full
full
queen.
queen.
It's a queen.
And it's just beautiful. It's very yacht-like, with especially that natural wood table that has the 2 sides that fold down with the brass hinges that you don't find at Lowe's. It's the real deal. It's a beautiful, beautiful rig. Let's take some questions, and then we're going to talk about floor plans in the context of this merging. I think, Neal, you brought up a good point there. So we got a pretty good crowd in here tonight. This is great. We got Sherry, David. I'm looking for a question. We got Sue and John. Everybody's in a cold spot in America, it seems like. Canada too. Where's the question? Thank you for using the format here. KK Kayak. He wants to know any simple design like the old VW camper bus from the 60s, 70s.
I mean,
That's a good
simple. I really like, we've seen like little tow behinds and stuff like that are retro.
I was thinking like some of the small truck campers,
Like the
maybe.
trailers have the retro style going on.
But as far as like a van that's like an old school van.
Or really
Yeah.
No.
Not really.
Nobody's doing it. And there's
No.
there's definitely an interest for the aesthetics and for
Yeah.
the simplicity, but nobody's really doing it.
I guess if you wanted to, I don't know, even if an adventure van would come that close, because it's not, because when you think about those old vans, they don't really have bathrooms and stuff. So maybe like I guess the closest thing might be like something like a storyteller.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
But that's an adventure van. It's not really a.
And
Just
that's not really simple. It's
Simple.
and systems.
Yeah.
And there's not really anybody doing simple,
Mm-mm.
retro Class Bs.
No.
kind of a DIY, and that's what you're going to see at the Peace, Love, and Vans Festival, the Van Fest in Melbourne, Florida. Ranger Horse has got a good question here. Can you fix the view of Theresa, Neal, and Britt? He's watching us from a mobile phone, so from my vantage point, you're forced. Yeah, you're getting to see a lot of Neal tonight because he's in the middle. Ranger, if you can maybe turn your phone landscape, maybe it shifts into landscape, but I don't have control over that. So Thomas wants to know, and this was going to be part of our upcoming discussion, but was Wingham there this year?
Yes.
Good question.
Yes.
We just didn't know, they're not technically a van, but they're smaller than a van.
But they were really
Yes.
cool. This is the first year I've ever seen one, and they are really, really cool. They had all three models. So they had the 540, 610, what was the other one?
610 and the 690.
690. And I actually really liked the 540, even though it was the smallest one. But
yeah,
really, really cool.
they had the Absolute edition.
Yeah.
And the black edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have you can go no propane, and they're actually being innovative. They listened to the customers while they've been waiting for the last few years.
Yeah.
And they're getting there with the lithium and the technology. So
Yeah.
that's good to see. And I think they're one of the best of
Yeah.
show for
Yeah.
sure.
Because
Yeah.
that bed, pulling that bed down and then poof,
Yeah.
it just goes away. It's
Yeah.
still amazing.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing, especially when you consider what it's riding on, which is like a 20. Oops, I'm sorry. I keep, the size of my Travado, and you have this compact motorhome. Now it's in a monocoque fiberglass shell, so it's a little wider, but it's still pretty impressive. Okay, we got another person here. Say I can only see Neal. So apparently, Neal, people have seen enough of you. So let's look at you, Brittany in the middle.
I'm going.
And then
Teresa, go. You want me to go? I'm going.
We'll do
I'm
this.
in the middle.
There
Hello.
we go.
I guess
This is Brittany, ladies and gentlemen. Neal and Britt are a pair. I know. Say hi. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, lean over and say hi for the mobile.
Yeah.
You didn't hear trees.
Okay, so next question from Deborah. Did you see the new panoramic RV perspective at the show? I don't think I've ever seen panoramic at the Florida SuperShow.
They weren't at the
They are not.
They're not present.
Not present.
No.
I didn't know they had a new
We would
model.
like to see that.
Yes.
Yeah, we would. It's on the transit.
Oh, it is okay. Fantastic.
We would love to.
Yes.
Let's see. Roads of Life always wants to have potty talk. He wants to know. He loves the Noovo. What toilet options are there, and how do you like the Modi well? Very seriously.
Photo well is an option.
This is Teresa's topic
and
right here.
apparently I've now become the official.
So maybe swap spots. Teresa and
You gotta swap.
I
You gotta
gotta
So the
swap.
mobile
Okay.
users can
All
see
right.
it.
musical
Yeah.
chairs. There we go.
Oh,
For a
yeah.
mobile watcher.
So yeah, I think Noovo is offering it as an option for the Motowell. And okay, what was the other part of the question? what do we
What
like?
are the
What do you
options
think of
that
it?
Noovo
What are the
has?
options?
Oh yeah. Oh, what do I think about? So yeah, with
Maybe
Noovo-
what is a Modi well? Just help us with that
Oh,
first.
okay,
So
so
a cassette
Modi
or a
well is a
Lavia
dry
dry flash.
and it's different from the Lavio if people aren't familiar. So the Lavio is another kind of dry flush that a lot of van life people were using, and I think Embassy was using it for a while. So that one, if you just think of like a large diaper genie, so you push a button, it flushes and it like seals it and has a big container, and then when you're done, you throw the whole thing out. The difference is the Motowell, when you flush, it seals it, and then you just throw that individual packet away, and it's biodegradable. The plastic or whatever is biodegradable. The material they use, that's what I'm trying to say. But and it's also much lighter and easier to get refills than it is for the Lavia, so it's just better suited for van life. And because of the video I did, a lot of people with the Noovo that don't want the cassette toilet have been opting for the Motowell. So Noovo is an option. If you order a Noovo, that you tell them you don't want the cassette, you can go with that one. And yeah, it works great. Really, I have this is how easy the refills are to carry. I have I figured 7 months worth of refills in the van.
Well,
So, I have some like in the overhead, and then I have a little plastic container that sits on the floor up on the passenger side, since it's just me, and I have a whole bunch of refills in there.
that's cool. Well, thanks for educating us. And it's nice to have some options. And here I go again talking about being seen. But I think this is one thing that kind of distinguishes the big builders from the smaller volume builders is some options that are meaningful, not just colors. And toilet is so important to a practical and pleasant RV travel experience. And I've used the dry flush. I've used the Separate Tiny. I've used my traditional wet tank, black tank thing. I haven't used the Modi well, but I hear great things about it. So I would say it's like I remember the ones where you put veggies in and you vacuum pack it, and then and then that's kind of what it is, and it keeps filling.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So here's another quite a few folks coming in on the mobile side. So when you're answering the question, I'll try and point it out so you can do the the chair shuffle. Here is so Neal will let you have this one. This is from 49 Leo Bear. Please name brands. Please name names on brands to look for quality and also those brands to steer away from. And ladies, if you have something to chime in, just kind of lean over.
Yeah,
I guess. But go, Neal.
I think we all probably agree anyways. Obviously, I mean, Noovo, I'm wearing them.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be in one if it wasn't the best quality we could find. Coachman, Storyteller, Outside Vans.
I would say
Westphalias look good.
Yeah.
They are, I believe, still using MDF, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But Sunshine did actually sell a handful of those.
Yeah.
We saw, and they're Westphalias. The names holds true. So I would say maybe look at them and see to compare them, but they're selling. But really, all the others, it's kind of just the same thing as it is every year, the same low quality MDF, and you know what you're getting, and it is what it is when you pay at certain price points. But if you're looking for the best qualities, it's a lot of the adventure van builders, Coachman and Noovo, if you're looking for the best quality materials.
Yeah.
And please go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, when you're looking at
Lean into
it. Sorry. So
you still can't see
it.
it.
I know. So, okay.
Switch chairs.
Doesn't work.
I was just going to say, when you're looking at, quality obviously is like key. So then it kind of comes down to like customer service. Who's the company behind us? Like Coachman customer service is phenomenal. Noovo customer service is phenomenal. I can't speak to the adventure vans because I've never owned any of them, but quality, it's there. So then it comes down to like, well, what's the floor plan? But I would say any of those brands, just
maybe avoid the other ones.
Yeah.
And a good way to tell that is I had a nice chat with Nick Schmidt from Sunshine State RVs and even Embassy as to RV out of Elkhart. They're not at the Super Show. That's where I met them back in 2019. But, take a flashlight if you're visiting the Super Show or any RV show or even a dealer and start looking behind the walls, open up the cupboards, look at the plumbing stack, look at the wiring, see where all the electronics connect. And if you're seeing a bowl of spaghetti, that kind of tells you where the quality is or isn't, and versus looking someplace else. Like the Noovo plumbing stack looks residential, so does Road Track. So it's super important, I think, to look at that. Look at the quality of the hinges. Look at the quality of the woodwork. Are there sharp corners, or is everything rounded? If you go to the Noovo, you find it real quick that everything's rounded, radial curves, really expensive stuff, but it just goes like a residential house being built. You got to peek behind the walls.
Yeah. Another one I always forget about them is Pleasure Way. And their wiring, I've seen their wiring. It looks really good. The only thing with Pleasure Way, just every year just always seems like it's the same. But from a quality standpoint, I think they're really good.
That is a good point. So maybe, so the question from Roads of Life here is, I'll let you switch chairs to help the mobile. How many amps in the Noovo lithium system, assuming it is 12 volt on the system? Yeah, that's going to be a Neal question for sure.
So on any of the ProMaster base, so the Light or the Plus, they're 12 volt base systems. They use Lithionics batteries, and all Nouvos, doesn't matter. All Victron components. So it's the best of the best. They care and they know what they're doing. But then the new Noovo Next on the Sprinter is a 48 volt system. It's actually, I believe, 51 point something.
Yeah.
But it's a 48 volt system. So that means you have smaller wire size, so it's safer and easier to get wires in all around. But it means faster recharge times, things like that. So you do have a couple options, and I guess stay tuned for 2027 from Noovo, because that will be when they start announcing some updates in all the rigs.
So 11 months from now. Hang in there. It'll be here before we know it, right? So we got another
out today, all of us. So
So we got a question from Jane and Roger. Good to see you from Illinois, where I'm sure it's balmy weather like in Florida. I'll let you three choose who you want to talk about this. So there are questions regarding Winnebago Travado. So the KL is the floor plan with 2 twin beds, galley behind the driver's seat, bathroom in the back. The GL, and Neal and Britt, you've owned one of those. The question from them is, are they bringing the L back to the G floor plan? I'm assuming lithionics, but there's been really any announcements. Anything from the show booth that you gleaned from the team?
No.
Nothing that we've heard.
Mhm.
I heard a lot of people ask about it.
Yes,
but no
there's
answers.
been no answers.
No answers. Okay, so stay tuned. Well, let's talk. Keep the questions coming. These are great questions. Let's talk about floor plan for just a minute. Kind of in the context, I think, to Neal's point earlier was the mixing of the BB plus small Cs, and that would be like the Winghams, the leisure travel vans. Again, they kind of came out with a new Echo looking one. What are you seeing in that space? I think even Coachman kind of has a small CB plus type thing. Embassy does with the Cape Cod. What are you seeing in terms of innovation around, again, Wingham, those kind of floor plans? Because they do have a little bit more space. They do have a little more length and width, and certainly more storage. What are you seeing there that's kind of caught your eye this year?
Well, some of it's been a little disappointing. I will say we went over to leisure travel vans and we were expecting something very exciting and new, but all it was they added a lift and tires and some different colors to one of their floor plans that they already have. So it looks really cool and very Echo-like, but unfortunately it wasn't very new per se.
But better quality.
But the quality's great.
Yeah,
the quality's there, but we were excited for a new floor plan, and that wasn't what it was. We also have seen there was a Tiffin type Echo that we went into that was interesting.
Nice.
Like that was very nice inside, so there was a lot of space in there. Was there another one that we went into that was interesting, like an Echo?
I just honestly think the Winghams, the storage, the
Mhm.
unique. I mean, they use every cavity in that van.
Yeah.
And it's impressive.
Yeah. For such a
And
small B plus. Yeah.
Yeah, for that again, they're the 610, 690 or 22 feet in length, which is again the same size as my Travato, and it has bunk bed kind of style and the dry bath, right?
Yep.
I would love to have that bath. Yeah.
it was honestly impressive. The Winghams are, I think, my favorite of like the combo of the plus.
Of a
Going
cutaway.
going into that.
Even though they're not really adventure like
Right.
Yeah.
But they're not Echo completely esque,
but I will
they're
say
awesome.
we did hear some people did some crazy things at the track with those Winghams, so they can definitely get out there.
And what Brittany's talking about is the day before the show, really before Industry Day, they took Wingham reservation holders out on the F1 track. I think Neal and Britt, you guys were there, right, for some of it? I'm sure Theresa was, but
I wasn't.
We did not wake up, Scott.
We did not wake up for it.
fair.
Sorry,
Fair
Tony.
enough. Well,
But
let's take
there were several other creators there who got lots of content.
lots of content. So be sure and check them out. And if you're going to the Super Show, you can meet the team there in person. I've been huge fans of them since the very beginning. And you can meet the owner, the CEO of Wingham. Lorena is there. She flew all the way from Italy. So she's there again this year. And you can meet the franchise dealer owners, Lance and Eamon. It's really a quality team. They're really approaching this thing differently. I think what people like to do is just get more rigs here quickly in the hands of owners. And it's not an easy feat to do that. So, but we should actually place a side bet, kind of like the Super Bowl thing, right? Is now the American RV manufacturers had a couple of years to examine the Wingham. Who's going to be first to copy the Wingham? And how much is it going to cost?
I think
I don't know.
It will be actually probably,
Competition.
Let's take a few more questions. And then we talk about value. I think this is a big thing, certainly at the Super Show and the RV show. They show these crazy ass discounts. Normally $250,000, but we're taking $100,000 off. as a show special. So kind of see what you talked or what you saw there. But let's take a few more questions. We're right at half hour ish after. Let's see. Lots of folks are saying hi. So here's an interesting. I lost my place. Winnebago. There we are. So here's Justin saying, any concerns if you have a legless awning and you can't retract it as the controls aren't working in very windy weather? Who wants to tackle that technical question?
Neal, you want to talk about
Or who
that?
has personal experience?
It's a prototype, Justin. A prototype.
Prototype.
So the Noovo, he's talking about, Justin helped us today. Actually, thank you, Justin, very much. Because the crazy high wind gusts that were going on and whatnot. Noovo used Girard awnings. They all went in and retracted, besides on the Noovo next prototype, because it's the prototype 1 that they're going to be scrapping because prototype 2's in production. And the awning did not go in. So Justin and I had to hold an awning from essentially escaping and taking out half the crowd at the Super Show.
And then Bob from the Van Caskies manually got it
Cranked
to
it
come
in.
in. So it was a team effort.
So yeah, don't trust prototypes all the time, I guess.
Well, it's also the beauty of having a retractable awning, right? Awnings in general on RVs are ubiquitous, but problematic. Let's just put it that way. They're awesome when they work, and when they don't, they're really not awesome.
Oh yeah.
Maybe this is kind of one for all of you, but Neal and Britt, you might have had the most experience. So here's Deborah. She's got a question regarding diesel. So she likes the adventure vans, but hesitate due to diesel and issues with the newer Mercedes diesel engine problems owners are experiencing. Should this hold me back? I have a thought on that myself, but maybe what's the panel have to say?
I mean, I've read about the issues. I've seen in some of the sprinter groups. I know exactly what's being talked about there. It's a chassis issue that has to get corrected. The federal government's stepped in to get it corrected. So they have a time frame. So I don't think I would necessarily let it hold me back from making a purchase, especially if it's a brand that's going to support you and say to Mercedes, like, hey, this is our customer. You need to take care of them if they had an issue. So, I'd definitely be conscious of the brand you're purchasing from, make sure that they have good customer service and they're going to support you in that process. But when it's a, brand like Mercedes, the issues will get resolved. I know it's a high elevation issue that she's referencing. I believe it's over 10,000 feet. They're having some issues with the engines running properly.
Okay.
It'll get resolved, but it's a new chassis for Sprinter. These things are going to take a few years. So I don't think I'd let it hold me back necessarily, but definitely just pick a good brand that's going to help you if you have an issue, because that would be a pain in the butt to buy a new van and have it then all of a sudden have to sit for 6 months or something.
And wait for the correction before you climb Mount Rainier in your van.
Yes.
Charlie
She experienced.
Yeah. My only comment on diesel is I specifically didn't want a diesel because I didn't want diesel. I didn't want a Mercedes. So gasoline is plentiful. It's everywhere. It's inexpensive. You don't deal with the DEF fluid. And we have a Mercedes Sprinter here, and it's just a little more to do. The towing capacity is better. Correct me if I'm wrong, Neal. But man, when you put your foot on the gas on a gasoline engine, it moves. Diesels, it takes a minute to say, hey, it's go time. Let's hang on. Here we go. So that would be maybe that's a Sprinter thing. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think honestly, all our opinion is we would choose gas over diesel.
We would, absolutely.
10 out of 10 times, personally. But if you're interested in a Sprinter and you don't let diesel scare you, because if that's what you're interested in, you like the aesthetics, you like the name Mercedes.
There's a lot out there already.
Yeah. I mean, and it's, you'll run into a few areas out west where you got biodiesel and Sprinter doesn't want you to put that in, but you can find it, but maintenance is going to be way more expensive. DEF's an annoyance, and occasionally you might, get scared and run out of gas when you're in Oregon, like we did in our Storyteller, and, pull and do with your 0 miles on, on the gauge. When you finally find diesel. So that can happen.
That can happen. Yeah. That's why we have a 50% tank rule.
Mhm.
You're not sure where you're going, where the next gas stop is, diesel stop, you fill her up
Yeah.
before you go below a half tank.
A mistake.
So here's a question from Mesa Mike Clark. Did Forest River have their destination trailer, the cottage, that I love so much? So this is kind of it's a towable, kind of a destination trailer.
Yes.
Yeah, they did have it.
Yep. And Mike, we will be filming it tomorrow, I believe.
Oh,
They have one there, and we sort of saw it, but we need to go back again.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is interesting. Thank you. So the platform I use to do these live streams is called StreamYard, and they've just made available this, landscape and simultaneously the portrait view. And so we're getting some really positive and interesting feedback tonight. So this is Crow coming in. This is kind of for the crowd here. So it shows a mobile device icon, but they're watching us on their 65-inch TV. You can see you all. So it might be the size of your device, which is kind of interesting. I'm just curious if you turn your phone this way, if it pops into horizontal. But
in our view, it's showing like what the mobile is over here, and it definitely it is
Just
one
here.
person.
it's one
Over here,
dimensional.
it's all of us. Yeah.
That's interesting. Let's see. Here's let's see what time is it. 42 after. A good point here. So this is Thomas says Van Caskey's at the Noovo booth, saw a van with the Modi well, have seen Teresa's videos. So talking about that. And you both did a great job with Nick Recchio of Coachman, by the way. That was you did a good job corralling Nick. He could talk for an hour.
He's good.
He's
Very
He's
good.
really
He makes
He's-
editing a tour video very nice.
He really
Yep.
does. Yeah.
He is so passionate and dialed into his customer. He camps with customers, which is
And if you want to hear something very impressive,
They're all
and I know he did it with you,
Oh.
I'll just say, and you can say too, Nick does his videos in one take.
Yep.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Pretty impressive.
which means there's a lot of editing coming up, maybe, but still.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a question from Fartun 815. What is your opinion about the Gretsch? So Gretsch makes pretty high-end vans as well. Anybody have any thoughts on them? They are there at the show this year, right?
Yeah, they are.
They're there.
Your opinion on Gretsch?
Well, my thoughts, they're well made. This is just my personal opinion, because I don't know, I could be wrong about this, if they were like a limousine builder. So they kind of have that, to me, like that limousine finish, everything's very cushy, which is nice, but I like a more residential look. But that's just my opinion. But they're well made. I mean, I can't say anything negative in terms of quality or I'm not familiar with them in terms of like what their customer service is. I'm sure it's good. I've never really heard anything negative about them. Me, I just like a more homey look. But that's fine.
They're kind of premium, a little glossy, maybe. Like a Midwest automotive design. So they're
American Patriot Coach.
Yeah. Kind of like a high end suite in Las Vegas. That's the feeling I always get. So we got a few more questions, but let's get this this big topic on the board, because I think this always kind of freaks people out. And if you go to the bigger dealers, General RV, La Mesa, I don't know, some of the big guys, there's a lot of pressure to do something now because the show price only lasts while we're sitting here talking. As you walked around the show, we've talked about this, MSRP of $250,000, but this show price, we're knocking 100,000 off. What did you see this year? This is something I've complained about forever. Any changes here, or are you seeing more panel of the see-through pricing, which is kind of the storyteller mode that I think Noovo is doing, which is you pay one price wherever you buy it, so you're really shopping for a dealer. And any thoughts on pricing that you saw this year?
I think that, like Neal was saying, I think some of the prices have come down. They're still doing the whole, if you buy this today, it's $100,000 off or whatever. I had an interesting conversation. I still haven't had a chance to get in it, but the the Pebble, you know, that all electric EV camper or travel trailer. It was on media day, and there was somebody doing a video. So I was talking to the guy while the other guy was doing the video, and we got talking about it because they're doing see-through pricing. So I think like the newer builders, like, you know, Noovo, Storyteller, Embassy,
I think Awaken, that new
Awaken,
company has
yeah,
set,
another new
like,
travel
set
trailer.
price,
Yeah, they're going to the fixed price or transparent pricing model as opposed to the old school MSRP
25,
car dealer
yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Which is kind of nice for the consumer, because I never did understand that whole game. And I don't think it helped the industry when you show a van on the manufacturer website. Starts at $229,000, but you go to the dealer website and they've slashed 80 grand off. I never understood. It never has been explained to me what that's about. But so it's nice to hear the prices are come down a little bit. It's kind of the same MSRP thing, but this transparent pricing is getting a little more traction, which is probably a good thing for the industry. Theresa, you mentioned electric, and this is a great question from Sherry, ties right into that. She says that at one point, I'd say about 2 years ago, several companies were attempting all electric RV models, vans in particular. Has this died out? Any electric vans there this year? All electric, I mean drive motors.
I know. Wasn't it Winnebago doing one on a Transit a few years ago?
There's not any this year. There's not a
year.
single. Nobody's trying to do that anymore.
Coachman was going to reveal one on that GM van truck, whatever it was, and as soon as they started to announce it, GM actually canceled that project, or, you know, the van that they were going to use. So they say they're going to still try to do it. I'm not sure with what they're going to use though.
Yeah, it's a range thing, and, you know, like my van is probably yours too, right? With all of our gear and cats and what have you, is almost 9,000 pounds. I mean, it's 4 tons, and that's with water and everything. Can you imagine adding a battery pack? You'd have no water, no waste, no furniture, but you can go 200 miles one way, and then you got to charge, right?
Yeah.
So I just don't think the dynamics work, the math works at this point. I'd rather have a battery pack that runs my AC for quite a while. I'm full of gas every 300-400 miles. So my opinion. Well, you guys have done a superb job. We've got all the questions, I think, answered. Well, here's Tev saying that there's not a van, but the Integra has the Embark. So that's kind of the class B plus ish as well, right? So thank you for that.
Yeah, we have not found that at the show though. Haven't seen it. It's probably there, but we
haven't seen it.
Well, it's like 1.2 million square feet of space, I think.
Yeah. A lot of rigs.
So, yes, that's what we're working with.
Unfortunately, as Scott knows, when you're there on public days as a creator and you start to get a channel that grows, you don't make it to vans because you're talking to people half the time. You know,
nice problem to have.
But we'll try to speak that tomorrow.
Yeah. And it's tough because the hours are short and the days are long. And so maybe just tell us, again, just thanks for your time today. I just have one or two last questions for you. And that is, since you're at the show, where can people find you personally if you're not wandering around? Are you in a particular booth, and where might that booth be?
We're in the Noovo booth, and it's
Booth 900.
Booth 900. And the best way to find us, we are like, Noovo's got this nice spot. It's just that you have to kind of come around a corner.
It's outside of the Equestrian Center.
Brinkley.
And it's outside of the Brinkley RV area. So outside.
If you see Brinkley RV, just go around the corner and you'll see Noovo.
We have huge flags. You cannot miss them. And you need to come check out all of the Nouvos because they're so beautiful and amazing.
Yeah.
And 1 tomorrow we're doing some giveaways.
Oh yeah,
yes, this is very important. We are giving away some very awesome products tomorrow, and you should come hang out with us, with Theresa, with Beth from Beth's Midlife Adventure. We've got the Van Caskies that are going to be hanging out, and the entire Noovo team. So you should come check it out at the booth and try to win some stuff.
Yeah.
Can you win a van, or is it just a sweatshirt, which is very needed tomorrow?
Win a 3-day rental in one of the vans as well.
That's worth it. And Noovo is sold at two places, one at Sunshine State RVs and one at the factory in Nevada. So if you go see any of the brands that Sunshine State carries, they'll kind of help direct you to the Noovo, but they carry a lot of the brands that Sunshine does, of the brands that we've been talking about tonight, including Storyteller and Coachman and a bunch of others. So if you're looking for any of those, be sure and tell the team that we all said to say hi from Go Small Live Large, Neal Britt and Theresa, Beyond the Fern. Any last comments before you all sign off for the night?
Theresa?
Maybe we'll do last thought. So we'll start with Theresa, then we'll shift to Neal. You got to change chairs, and then we'll do Brittany. Last thoughts, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. It's definitely interesting to see all, everything that's out there. And if you're in the area and decide to go to the show, make sure you have comfortable shoes because it is a lot of walking. My shins are hurt.
Is that about it?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, and as far as me, I would say we talked about a lot of the good quality brands out there and things like that, but there's plenty more that weren't at the show and we didn't see. So just, go follow Scott's channel because he's kind of the tour man that shows you everything that's out there, good quality. So that's probably my best piece of advice because unfortunately, like you said, the days are short, and even us being there on location, we can't see everything, right. So you got to just follow Scott and check out the tours and stuff.
Well, Neal, Britt, and Theresa, because you guys are.
I do have one other thing, but I'll save it.
Yeah, I think I just gotta say I just love going to these shows because the community is the absolute best. So I just want to say to anyone watching, if you have seen us at the show already, thank you so much for coming. We love talking with all of you, and we can't wait to see any more of you that decide to come. And any of you that watch any of our videos, we just appreciate you all so much. So thank you.
Well said.
I just wanted to add one thing, Scott, that I meant to mention. So we met this boy, I think it was 12?
Oh yeah.
12-year-old. His name is Cohen.
1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
anyway, Cohen, and it's Koen, and he has a channel called Cohen's RV World, and he loves doing RV tours. So if you look up his channel, subscribe to him. He's a really good kid.
He's the youngest RV tour person on YouTube.
Yeah, we're working on getting him his media credentials for the RV show next year. Yeah. So go and subscribe to his channel if you haven't.
He's a fan of Go Small Live Large.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, show the patch again, Neal. What an ambitious young man. We need more people like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Impressive.
Super impressive. And my advice for folks is there is no perfect van. Don't wait for a perfect van. Get your ass in a van and get on the road. It's 2026. It's a weird time we live in, and I would be a nervous wreck if I had to sit home and watch the news every night versus out running around, traveling in my van and finding out that most people are pretty cool, regardless of what sticker might be on the back of their truck or whatever. We live in an amazing country that's full of culture, history, tastes, and nature and scenery. And to your point, Brittany, on just community and whatever type of RVer you are, I've never met a really bad RVer. I would be biased saying that the van campers are the coolest, but anybody that's out, especially taking their kids around to show them what the world's like, is pretty cool. So don't wait for the perfect van, the perfect RV. Even if you rent a van or an RV for a few times and just kind of figure out your floor plan. And Noovo is doing that, I think, right? That you can kind of rent. They do like an Airbnb through Noovo factory with owners or something like that, right?
Yep. Available throughout the whole country, so they can make it work.
And then I would also say visit not just RV shows, but go to van festivals. So there's two big ones coming up in Florida. One is Peace, Love, and Vans in early March, and the other is Van Fest Liftoff. It's on the Melbourne, Florida. And there you get to see all kinds of rigs. And as important as that is, all kinds of people in their rigs and hear their travel stories. So that's what I would like to leave you with tonight. It's a brand new year. We're only 15, 16 days into this year. So it's a whole year ahead of us. What are you going to do differently this year, 2026 versus 2025? I got hobbled pretty bad with a medical issue, so I've really not traveled, and I had van issues. So I'm chomping at the bit to get on the road next month, like you three have been. I'm so jealous. I'm so eager. I can't tell you what a game changer it is to be out traveling and experiencing life from a van. So that's my advice. But you three, thank you very much. Survive the cold tomorrow. It's going to be 40 degrees overnight in West Palm Beach tomorrow night. So I think it's even colder in Tampa because you guys.
You're having a heat wave tonight, and
Just gonna bundle up over here.
Yeah. Snuggle close. Get those cats around you. So you three stay right there. We'll say goodbye to everybody, and
Bye.
peace be with you. Journey on. And thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it, folks. Peace be with you.